Hi everyone, and welcome to week 12 of sock season, December 17th through 23rd, 2023. I'm Carol, host of A Stitch in Time, and I can be found on Ravelry as Knits and Pearls. It's now midway through December. Hanukkah has just come to a close and Christmas is right around the corner. So this seemed like the perfect pair to begin with today. These are my Twas the week before Christmas socks, and ironically these were not meant to be Christmas socks at all. They just happened to be a pair of plain stockinette socks that I cast on the week before Christmas of December 2011. However, I didn't like the way the yarn was knitting up in just plain stockinette, and so I decided to try a stitch pattern I had recently heard about on the Knit Picks podcast. The host, Kelly Petkin, had described a 6-row repeat that she used to break up pooling in multicolored yarns, and I decided to give it a try. It worked, and when the socks were done, they reminded me of a Christmas sweater that my daughter had worn when she was quite young. And so they just became Christmas socks. The yarn is from Fleece Artist. It's the BFL sock, and the colorway is Masala. So the stitch pattern is a 6-row repeat that's made up of knits, rows of purl, and rows of slipped stitches. And it really does break up the pooling and makes the yarn look completely different than it does in the skein or than how it's knit in stockinette. These are very warm and comfy socks. I did a short row heel and my usual rounded toe. At this time of year, Christmas decorations are everywhere, and as you can see, we've put up our own Christmas tree, complete with lights. Here in Canada, we simply call them Christmas tree lights, but in the UK, they have a much more magical sounding name, fairy lights. These are the Fairy Lights socks, knit from yarn from West Yorkshire Spinners. It is their signature 4-ply in the Fairy Lights colorway, and then I have done coordinating heels, toes, and cuffs from the Cayenne Pepper colorway. My usual 64 stitch top down sock with a traditional heel flap and gusset and rounded toe. I think this is such a fun colorway, and I really like how it knit up. The decorations theme continues with the third pair of socks for this week, what I call my Christmas in July socks, because I knit them in July of 2019. I used a happenstance sock blank with sparkles from Fiber Nymph Dye Works. The name of the sock blank was Sprigs and Baubles, and as you can see from this photo, the sock blank was almost too pretty to knit up, but I'm glad I did, because look what pretty socks it knit into with all these beautiful colored speckles, and of course everything is better with sparkle. So this is my usual top-down 64 stitch plain vanilla sock with short row heel and rounded toe. I'm going to bring each sock in separately just so you can see how the sock blank knit up on each sock. See all the pretty colors? So even though they are not identical, they definitely are matching. And I look forward to wearing these this week. Even though it grows year-round, holly is synonymous with Christmas, and the Hollyberry colorway from West Yorkshire Spinners features classic red and green. Once again, I knit these from the top down, and I used the Cayenne Pepper colorway for coordinating heels, toes, and cuffs. Only this time I did an Eye of Partridge heel. another winner from West Yorkshire Spinners. One of the most beloved Christmas stories is The Grinch Who Stole Christmas by Dr. Seuss. Of course, it's available in book form, and it's also been made into 2 movies. I personally prefer the original animated version. There is no more magical place than Whoville. These are my Whoville socks. These are knit from another happenstance sock blank with sparkle from Fiber Nymph Dye Works. This one was called Welcome to Whoville, and it was dyed completely differently than the Sprigs and Baubles sock blank. In this case, I wanted 2 socks that looked similar, and so I divided the sock blank in 2, and I began 1 sock from one end of it and 1 sock from another, and ended up with some relatively matchy socks. Once again, my top-down 64 stitch plain vanilla sock with a short row heel and rounded toe. And again, I'll show you both socks because even though they look similar, they're just a little bit different. Look at all that beautiful, fun color in there. They have faded a little bit with wear because I have worn these quite a few times. How could I not? They are so pretty and so fun. A few years ago, West Yorkshire Spinners introduced a new bird colorway in honor of Christmas. And this is the Christmas Robin colorway. Only I call these my Spring Robin socks because I knit them in April of 2020. Once again, you can see I used cayenne pepper to knit coordinating heels, toes, and cuffs. And even though we don't see our North American robin very often at this time of year where I live, we do spot them once in a while. And regardless, I look forward to wearing these socks this week. I think it's one of my favorite bird colorways that West Yorkshire Spinners has put out. The final pair for this week is my Cozy Mountain Christmas socks, knit from Fiber Nymph Dye Works Mountain Tweed BFL in the Cozy Mountain Christmas colorway. It's my usual top-down 64 stitch plain vanilla sock, and this time I've used some plain vanilla to knit a complementary slip stitch heel. With the warm red and green and gold and the tweed base, these socks really do look nice and cozy. And that will be a great pair to wear on Christmas Eve. And that brings sock season week 12 to an end. I hope you're able to find some calm and peace in what can often be a hectic time in the week leading up to Christmas. If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. And if you would like to see some more knitting and crafting, be sure to check out regular episodes of A Stitch in Time. Have a lovely week, and I will see you next Sunday for sock season week 13.